Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and it's Mindy Mondays. You know what that means? We work on these little cute mini paintings just to get you loosened up and having fun, in whatever medium I choose for this time. Today we're doing watercolor, and we're doing a little Christmas sheep. Yes, I go over this step by step. I also have a reference photo. I also show you how to draw it as well. So, if the video seems too fast, you can always just slow it down, and you can draw it and follow along that way. Also, please hit the bell notification button to know when my tutorial is up, because they're not always up at the same time, and it just helps to know when it's there, available. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you're a Patreon member, you could download the traceable of this. Patreon is a place people can get traceables, ad-free videos, exclusive tutorials, a live stream, and a download from me in the top tier. And it's just a place people go and support my channel, which I appreciate so much. You can check it out in about 2 seconds right up here in the corner. A little banner will pop up, and then you can click on that and you can see what Patreon's all about. So without further ado, let's get started on painting this little sheep. Okay guys, for this fun little tutorial, it's pretty quick. Go over my supplies. I have a piece of Arch 100% cotton cold pressed paper in a 3-inch size. I just fold it and tear it so I get 3 inches. I have my palette here with my paints, and I have in the description box paper towels, water jars up here. I'll be using Princeton 4 and 8 long round velvet touch series brush. And yeah, so if you're, like I said, if you're a Patreon member, you can download Traceable, but I also gave you a reference photo, which is this cute little dude here. I kind of went by him, but I'm gonna make his face black and his legs kind of black, and add snow and scenery. So you can take the reference of this dude, just to you want to just trace his body. It's pretty simple. Just trace his body and his eyes and his nose and mouth, but we're going to paint it a little different. And so I kind of traced that, and then I added a wreath around his neck. So you take the guy you see here, and you just, put like a bow. I have lots of tutorials with bows. So you just envision a bow around his neck, and then some greenery. Zoom in so you can see. Let's envision some greenery going around his neck. Just like that. Play around with some royalty-free photos you see out there. I'm going to change his face, but basically, the shape is this. And if you wanted to learn how to just draw it without even, and I changed my ears a little bit, with ears going down. I have both ears going up. So I'm looking at it for reference, a sheep like that. Picture yourself a circle, right? And of course it's going to have this little shackly edge. And then the face, it's kind of like a rounded triangle. Well, it'll actually be down up here. Like a rounded triangle, curved top. And then for the ears, curve and bring it back, like a curve and bring it back, and then the eyes, and then the nose, see, curved little ovals, kind of like a line down, a smiley mouth. That's how I would do the eyes, and then just kind of go inside the ears, and the legs is just, it wouldn't be just stick, it will have a little bubble, for his knees, and then again the bow. So a rounded square, line out, line out. This is how you draw the bows. And then just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle for the greenery. And that's your sheep. Slow the video down so you can see me draw it. So I have mine here, all drawn out. Now this little trick, because he's kind of creamy white, you can use a number 2 pencil and make some nice, little jiggly lines for his wool. I was going to say fur, but sheep have wool, right? And you can leave those, maybe I did overboard too much, but you can leave those pencil marks. I went a little too cray-cray. It happens. I want to leave some of them, but not all of them. Because, it is a white sheep body, and then you've got the black face. but we'll make it like dark gray. And then the background, I just kind of threw in a Christmas tree. You can throw it in whatever you want. You don't even have to throw a tree in, right? So then here's the greenery. So we'll start off mixing some, we'll do the lighter stuff first, which is like his coat. You can do some shadows with gray and beige. I'm going to grab my cadmium yellow deep, my burnt umbers here. I've been using the same colors for a while now, actually. We've been getting a little bored with it. I'll add the yellow to that brown, maybe a little neutral tint, which is like a black, just to see. And I always have like a piece of scrap to check. Sorry guys. Colors, look at all. See, I check it all the time. It's a little, yeah. Water it down. Get a little more of that. And you can make it pinker, a little magenta. Play around with the color that you want. So that's nice brown. Maybe I want it more blushy looking. Add some magenta to it. So it's a blushy color. Just keep playing around with that. Grab more of that yellow again. That's how I like to play with it. And then I can use neutral tint itself. Just water that down. So we're going to be playing with two of these. See, I got a lot of water in here. When you have a lot of water, you want to take off some excess paper towel. See how I tap that? So I'm going to put just some little gray marks. Taking the tip of my number 8 brush. See, I already have the pencil lines there. I'm just kind of making a little wash of color with those two colors that I mix. That reddish, blushy color. Let me add a little more yellow. So it's kind of cream, kind of looking sheep. But add little grays too. See, got the cream color. Still want to keep them kind of white. I might remove a little bit of this gray. So I'm mixing some grays and some browns. You want to keep them in like a dirty old sheep. Dirty old sheep, dirty dog. And then in here a little bit under his face and in between the wreath. Just really simply like that. Okay, so we'll mix up some greens for the wreath, and then the bow I'm going to make like red, like red and green, just simple white, and we can do an outline around that. So cadmium yellow deep, peacock blue, like a nice pretty green. Add a little Prussian blue. Get a little bit deeper. So when you add the Prussian blue to the color, it gets a little bit bluer and deeper. I'm going to add some more yellow. You see me do this all the time. Every video I have practically doing this. I like to mix my greens. You don't necessarily have to do that. See, I'm going to use that yellow and mix the green again. Lighter green. And this one I want to make more of a deeper green. And I add a little burnt umber to it too. We could have a medium green, like more yellow, and a touch of peacock blue. You really shouldn't dip your paints in back and forth, but I do because I'm doing it for intense purpose of painting faster for the video. And I'm going to add some of this green in here. There we go. Medium green. Okay, taking out the excess. I'm still using my number 8 brush. I will be going in using the 4, real detailed. So I'm just kind of pushing. You see, I'm just kind of pushing this paint around this first color. This first swath of green. And around in here. Just using the tip, kind of pushing out a couple little sprays. You see that? Now, if you want to get super detailed, you could put some holly all around his or hers neck. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Doesn't have to be what I'm doing. Doing some simple greens around the neck. Then you can bleed in if you wanted to some deeper green. See, I'm just dotting that. I'm going to wait till it dries though to put in some more color. Just kind of how I want it to look. Meanwhile, let's mix up some grays, and I'm going to use my number 4. So we're going to mix some grays. I've got that neutral tint. Oops. Decided to go across the page here. Very wet here. I'm going to go and add a little burnt umber to it. A little browner gray. The neutral tint is kind of like a purple gray. Excess. I'm going to start off light because we want that face to show up. So I add some more water and then I tap the paper towel. Now I'm going to go right over my face and I'll add the details in a bit. See, it's kind of light gray. It's going to get darker because it should be really darker because he's got a black face. Just right over that. And then you can use even darker color if you wanted to. As you know, it's going to be darker on the little legs. Going down. And again, I can add some deeper color. So I put the first color down to see how dark it's going to be. You want like a deep gray so you can put in the black details. There we go. Number 4, brush. Let's work on the bow. Whatever red color you have. I like to mix my reds, as you know. So I use my cadmium yellow deep. And I'll grab my magenta. And I mix up my reds. So I'm going to make like a kind of plaid. Just going to make these lines like this. Going to the shape of the bow. Same thing here. Actually, I'm going to put one straight down and straight down, straight down, and straight down. And when that dries, we'll do some crisscross colors. Right now I'm just putting those straight down. As this is drying, you can go back in and add some more beigey brown gray details. Just take your little brush, see? Just kind of like putting in some dashed lines on the outside here, inside the bow. So you get that fuzzy little sheep. See, just taking my little brush. Same thing we do with the color and the pencil. The pencil's nice to use in this one. Little gray in here. And the shadow of his face onto there's the wreath. And I'll get a little bit deeper out here. Some of that green bled out here. I'll just kind of lift it up. Okay, let's work on, I'm going to go back to my number 8 brush and we'll work on the background. Make it any kind of blue you want. I'm going to leave this part. I did a line across here for snow. I've got ultramarine blue here. Might mix a little Prussian blue with that. Change up the color and some neutral tint. Now you can make it as deep and light as you want. I'm going to just water that color down. See how I'm tapping on the paper towel? Let's see how it looks. Might add a little more gray to that. You can make it brighter or lighter or whatever color you want. I'm moving my paper around. Don't feel like you can't move your paper around. Go right ahead and do that. Just filling in the color. Now if you know you're going to put a tree here, you might want to leave that space empty. Just filling this color in. While it's still wet, we could bleed in some deeper color. Now I'm going to put some trees over here too, so I know I'm going to put them in here. So I'm going to stop painting that section. So it's fairly light blue, but we can go in and take some of these two colors we had, well actually three, and you can bleed in some deeper color if you wanted to. I wouldn't do it so much near the ears, maybe back out here. Because you want the, so I'm just kind of moving that color around. Have fun with it, guys. Just kind of filling that in. Right over there. Yeah. For the snow, just take that same color, tap it on the paper towel to get off excess, and I'll just put a little blue here and here, and leave the rest white. Okay, I'm gonna let this stuff dry. I'm gonna take our number 4, brush, but go back into this bow, and we have that deeper green, and we're gonna go across. Zoom in a little more. Double lines. Cross, 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 cross. Getting detailed here. See, these double lines. See how cute that looks? And you can kind of outline it up here on the side. Cross, cross, applesauce. You want to take a little black or neutral tint color, kind of really outline the bow. So it really stands out. See how I did that? That's why you need a small brush. Just like that. Okay, and so now for the wreath, I'm going to go back in with the greens. Mix up some of that deeper green, grabbing some yellow. Okay. So I have this number 4 brush. My green's kind of really washed out. Did you notice that? I'm going to go back in and fill that in with some bright green again. And actually some of the deeper green. Here you can actually make, some sprays that look like holly or the fir kind of pines. Just taking my brush, just kind of wiggling around so it looks like greenery. I could get really super detailed and make a little holly. It depends on how detailed you want to play around with this. It's such a small painting. I wouldn't fuss too much. Just like that. And again, I'm going to go back in and fill in that face a little bit darker. I got those two colors. The burnt umber and the neutral tint. Less water again. Pretty dark now. Might have to water it down just a bit. We want it like deep gray, but we don't want it so we can't put the eyes and the nose and the mouth in. Let's go another wash of color on top. And the legs. The legs can get pretty dark. Put that color right in there. And again, take the same colors, make the little necessary kind of, oops, that's a little too dark. Crazy fur. See, I'm kind of wiggling it, showing like that, wool fur. It's crazy wool. Just kind of wiggling the brush. That's a little bit darker, so if you don't like it that dark, you can lift it up. And then we're going to do the tree. So nice deep green. Just like this. See that? Leaving some white space in between. So it's like snow. Make whatever trees you want. I mean, I have a tutorial on trees. I'll get them a little bit deeper in the back. A little more blue, green. Gonna water this down with some water. I think they're like 3 trees. This one's just like one solid color. I can go back in with some Prussian blue. Get that a little bit deeper. Just like that. And over here too. And you can use that too in here. Just add a little Prussian blue, deeper green color. Just play around with adding a couple of different colors in here. My green on the his bow kind of really fell out, so I'm going to go back in and fix that. It'll be tricky, but it kind of washed out. Okay. All right. Testing his face. So it's pretty dry now. And I'm just going to put in super black. Now you could use the blackest color you have. Sometimes I use black gouache, which is great. And we're just going to do the nose and the mouth and the eyes. So just these little lines here, a line here, a little skinny. Give him a little smiley face. And these simple little eyes. Right? I'll do another little line kind of on the inner ear. Just like that. Now we're going to go back in and add like a little dot of white for the eye. Because it's really tiny. And you want to be able to see the face. So I have to let that dry. And again, go back in with the sheepy wool. Take your paintbrush. Make these little lines. Just going in here and adding that. Wild and crazy wool. Don't be afraid. Adding a little shadow under the bow here. Again, neck over here. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. And we're going to come back when you're going to play around with adding some white gouache to get the snow and the eyes to come alive. Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and it's Mindy Mondays. You know what that means. We work on these little cute mini paintings just to get you loosened up and having fun, in, in whatever medium I choose for this time. Today we're doing watercolor, and we're doing a little Christmas sheep. Yes, I go over this step by step. I also have a reference photo. I also show you how to draw it as well. So, if the video seems too fast, you can always just slow it down, and you can draw it and follow along that way. Also, please hit the bell notification button to know my tutorial is up, because they're not always up at the same time, and it just helps to know when it's there, available. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you're a Patreon member, you could download the traceable of this. Patreon is a place people can get traceables, ad-free videos, exclusive tutorials, a live stream, and a download from me in the top tier. And it's just a place people go and support my channel, which I appreciate so much. You can check it out in about 2 seconds right up here in the corner. A little banner will pop up, and then you can click on that and you can see what Patreon's all about. So without further ado, let's get started on painting this little sheep. Meh. Okay guys, so somehow my editing got messed up and I lost a lot of footage, so I'm kind of recreating it. So basically I went and grabbed some white gouache. I went over the trees with my number 4 and added some gouache here and here. Put some on the wool of the sheep. Put some nice sporadic dots all around for snow. I went and added some cute little red dots around the wreath just to make it a little more, punch it up a little bit. And then I took some ultramarine blue and just kind of washed in like a little shadow of the snow on the side. And that was kind of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this mini Monday Madness tutorial. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comment section. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.